The story of the 1991 Chicago White Sox, brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized. For those who discovered its real draft taste, Chicago is a very cool place.
Grand slam! Home run for Robin Ventura! And the Sox win it 10-8! Beautiful double play. What a play by Ozzie!
Oh my, the fireworks. It is spectacular here at New Comiskey Park.
Brand new, old-fashioned fun. The theme could not have been more appropriate in 1991 as the Chicago White Sox combined the opening of a brand new ballpark in mid-April with the old-fashioned excitement of a pennant race that lasted until the end of September. A total of 2,934,154 fans set franchise and City of Chicago attendance records as they flocked to New Comiskey Park. The White Sox rewarded them with their second consecutive runner-up finish in the American League West, baseball's deepest division. On 75 of 80 home dates, crowds of over 30,000 turned out at the beautiful baseball-only structure on Chicago's South Side. On 29 occasions, paid attendance exceeded 40,000 in the 44,177-seat state-of-the-art facility at 35th and Shields. The White Sox actually began to take on a brand new look at the end of the 1990 season when they unveiled their silver and black colors, Old English script Sox logo, and pinstriped home uniforms. Fans responded with delight as demand exceeded supply for Sox merchandise. By August of 1991, White Sox merchandise was #1 in sales nationally, according to Major League Baseball Properties. The front office also took on a new identity as Ron Schuler was named Senior Vice President of Major League Operations in November of 1990. A former Sox pitcher and pitching coach, Schuler wasted little time in adding some fresh faces to the roster. Knuckleball pitcher Charlie Huff, the only Major League hurler to win 10 or more games in each of the preceding 9 seasons, was signed as a free agent on December 20th. Schuler shored up the offense by landing speedy leadoff hitter and base-stealing threat Tim Raines in a Christmas Eve trade with Montreal. The dealing continued in spring training as the White Sox added infielder Joey Cora and outfielder Warren Newson. The White Sox electrified the baseball world on April 3rd with the news of their signing of free agent Bo Jackson. In the ensuing months, Jackson's rehabilitation under Sox trainer Herm Schneider became the subject of intense interest from fans and the media alike. After 6 weeks of spring training in Florida, the White Sox opened the 1991 campaign in Baltimore for the final opener in Memorial Stadium's history. Jack McDowell started and went the distance for the winning White Sox, earning the first of what would be an American League leading 15 complete games for the season. Sammy Sosa led the way, pounding out 2 home runs.
That ball hit deep to left field, way back. You can put it on the board. A 3-run homer by Sammy Sosa. Sox lead it 3-1. Yes.
The White Sox went on to sweep Baltimore and Detroit and continued their winning ways in New York, where Bobby Thigpen became the youngest relief pitcher to earn 150 career saves when he saved a 6-5 victory for Greg Hibbard. The White Sox were on their way, winning their first 6 games as they returned home from the 6-1 road trip to open up New Comiskey Park. Opening week festivities were kicked off with a christening of the park ceremony, bringing together for the first time descendants of each of the previous White Sox owners. A Daily Center Plaza rally featured former Sox stars and dignitaries and preceded a commemorative ceremony at 39th and Wentworth Streets, the site of the original Sox ballpark that preceded Old Comiskey Park, which was built in 1910. The first ball to be used in New Comiskey Park was handed off to a pair of runners who began a journey to the 39th Street grounds, where the Sox played prior to 1910. After a brief ceremony, they handed the first game ball to a group of people representing various eras of White Sox baseball, who then walked the ball into New Comiskey Park. In fact, the White Sox became the first team in history to use a special commemorative baseball. The Rawlings Sporting Goods Company incorporated the specially created inaugural year logo on the official American League Baseball, which was used in all games played in New Comiskey Park in 1991. 2 weeks of pageantry, rallies, and commemorations culminated in the opening day game on April 18th. The dream was now reality.
Hey, who's hungry now? Red Hots here, hot dogs. Hey, hot dogs here, Red Hots.
Number 23, Robin Ventura.
After the Oak Ridge boys sang the national anthem, former Governor Jim Thompson threw out the ceremonial first pitch before a packed house of baseball fans. And then it was time to play ball. Although the outcome wasn't as joyous as the opening week festivities, the fans and the White Sox together established a unique atmosphere at New Comiskey Park.
We have tremendous character here. We have a bunch of guys that believe in one another. I believe in the family/team concept that means, and I've been on bad teams, when the things are going wrong, they point fingers at one another, and they say, oh, it's your fault, and so on. A good team, even in the roughest of times, we lost 9 in a row at one point this year. A good team, the individuals turn around and look at one another and say, don't worry about it, I'll pick you up, we'll win this together. And I think that's what the White Sox have, more so than most other clubs in baseball.
That became very evident during the 1991 season, 28 times to be exact, as the White Sox picked up victories in their last at-bat to lead the major leagues.
There's a shot, face hit back to the middle. Here comes Fletcher. Connor fumbles the ball. Fletcher scores. Sox winning 5-4 for the first win ever here at New Comiskey Park. Yes!
The very next day, the White Sox hosted Baltimore in the first night game in New Comiskey Park. Frank Thomas became the first player to set off the fireworks with the first of his team-leading 32 home runs.
That's it out of here. Center field, way back. You can put it on the board. A 2-run homer for Big Frank Thomas. Sox lead it 6-5. Yes!
Thomas would go on to have a great week, winning American League Player of the Week honors, hitting .550 with 3 home runs. Veteran catcher Carlton Fisk added to the White Sox early hitting surge, starting the season with an 11-game hitting streak. Second baseman Scott Fletcher added a team-high 14 RBI in April. But hitting wasn't the only strength for the young White Sox. Starting pitcher Jack McDowell notched 4 victories in 5 starts, and Greg Hibbert added 2 wins in 4 starts with a stingy 1.55 earned run average. The White Sox ended the month of April 11-6, 1/2 game out of first place. The White Sox started the month of May playing their neighbors to the north in the longest extra-inning game of the season, a 6-hour, 5-minute, 19-inning marathon at Milwaukee's County Stadium that saw the Brewers come out on top 10-9. It was a tough month for White Sox starting pitching, who won only 3 games. But the bullpen contributed 7 wins in relief, 3 by Bobby Thigpen, 2 by Don Paul, and 1 each by Scott Radinsky and Ken Patterson. The White Sox focus on winning the American League West title intensified throughout the season as they continued to win games in dramatic fashion. The White Sox led the American League by winning 15 extra-inning games, including 3 in May. On May 7th, the month's top pitching performance was delivered by Greg Hibbert, who 6-hit the Brewers over 10 solid innings of work. Sammy Sosa sent the fans home with a smile when he ended the game with this smash in the 12th inning.
Yes! Drive hit deep to left field. Get out of here! Sox win it 2-1. Whoa!
The Sox' third extra-inning game of the week came in Boston May 13th. A 1-hour power failure did not affect the White Sox bats. Pinch hitter Matt Murillo faced Boston relief ace Jeff Reardon with 2 outs in the 9th. A swing and a drive hit into deep right center field. Brudinski's on the run, back to the wall. It's gone! A home run for Murillo! And we're tied at 3. Matt Murillo. Ron Karkovice's 10th inning RBI single sealed the victory for the hungry White Sox.
Left field, base hit. Cora rounding third. Here comes the throw from Greenwell. The throw, no, he's in there.
We have a reputation of coming to play and giving you whatever amount of innings it takes to win a ball game, all that we have.
Tim Raines, baseball's all-time leader in stolen base percentage, became a fan favorite in left field and enjoyed his new home in Chicago.
Just the overall atmosphere, playing in front of your home team that really wants you to win. I like it here because it's just a sports town, and the fans here really follow the sports, regardless if it's football, basketball, baseball or hockey, they're White Sox fans and they come out here and watch their team.
Rain's work ethic and veteran leadership added another positive dimension to the up-and-coming White Sox, who continued to battle for the top spot in the West. Rain's biggest game of the young season came in Oakland on May 23rd. He went 4 for 4 with 2 walks as the White Sox cruised to an 11-1 win over the Athletics. Frank Thomas drove in a career-high 5 runs in the game that also saw Matt Murillo hit his second pinch hit home run of the month. Raines led the Sox in May, hitting .349 with 2 homers, 11 RBI, and 12 stolen bases. Raines' heroics surfaced again on May 28th when he faced California's Brian Harvey with 2 outs in the 9th.
Here was that base hit. Ozzie scores. Sox win it 6-5. Yeah!
Although center fielder Lance Johnson also played steady ball, recording a 10-game hitting streak during the month, the White Sox stumbled in May. Finishing the month with a 10-17 record, they found themselves in 6th place, 5 1/2 games back of Texas. Pitching became the key for the Sox in June as the staff recorded a 3.34 ERA, averaging only 2.9 walks per game. Charlie Huff was 4-1 with a 3.13 ERA in his 6 starts, while Jack McDowell also turned in a 4-1 month with a 2.01 earned run average in 6 starts, including 3 complete games. The bullpen also got into the act as left-hander Scott Verdinsky appeared 11 times, earning 3 saves, while allowing only 1 run in 12 2/3 innings for a team-leading 0.71 earned run average. Right-hander Melito Perez was moved to the bullpen and responded by winning 2 games in relief with a 1.69 ERA, including an 8-strikeout performance at Comiskey Park against the Kansas City Royals. The White Sox pitching staff continued to rise to the occasion time and time again. A big factor in the success of the young pitching staff was the leadership of veteran all-star catcher Carlton Fisk, who, along with Ron Karkovice, worked to keep the Sox pitchers at the top of their game.
It's more than baseball out there, You're out there, you're working with someone that's you look at as a father, I could look at him as my father. He just knows so much about the game, and he knows how to treat a young pitcher. It's a big advantage to enter the major league level with him behind the plate.
He really has a chance to help mold our careers and our future and the future of the White Sox. And I think he takes a lot of pride in that. And I know we appreciate it tremendously, and you can just see how everyone's progressed by working with him.
Most people don't understand the relationship between a pitcher and a catcher. And especially when you've got real young pitchers and real old catchers, experienced veteran catchers. They're like, as you see them progress, they're like your sons, like my son or like my kids. And when they do well, I feel happier for them than they do for themselves. So it's quite a thrill for me to watch them pitch the way they do and be a part of it.
And speaking of being part of it, the Chicago fans continue to flock to New Comiskey Park in record numbers. In fact, the White Sox reached the 1 million mark in attendance on their 30th home game, June 19th. That's the earliest date in franchise history the Sox had reached the 1 million mark. Matt Murillo continued his clutch pinch hitting in the first half of the 1991 season when he singled home the winning run in the bottom of the 8th inning on June 2nd against the Athletics. The White Sox bats continued to sizzle. Third baseman Robin Ventura not only played exceptionally in the field during June, but paced White Sox batters by hitting in 24 of the team's 29 games, including his first career grand slam.
That's deep to right field. Way back. You can put it on the board. A grand slam for Robin Ventura.
Frank Thomas continued his assault on American League pitchers, knocking in 5 runs on 2 separate occasions versus Kansas City and Seattle. The 23-year-old also registered an 8-game hitting streak and hit 5 home runs with 20 RBI, including his first career grand slam.
His pitch, swinging a high, deep drive into center field. Oh, way back, grand slam!
The White Sox continued to find ways to win crucial ball games, picking up 3 consecutive last-at-bat victories over the Texas Rangers.
Here he comes. They're going to try. No! Sox win it. 6-5. There's a base hit into left field. Here comes Robin. He's rounding third. He's going to score. Sox lead at 3-1. Watch out. And ball gets away. Here comes Newsom in the throw. Not in time. Sox win it. 6-5. Yes!
That victory marked the 16th win in the Sox final at bat, which matched their total output in all of 1990. The club streaked to a 17-12 mark in June, winning 8 of its last 10 games to pull within 5 1/2 games of front-running Minnesota. July was a record-breaking month for the White Sox as the club won 19 of 27 games. Its best monthly performance since the 1983 American League West Championship team went 22-6 in September of that year. It was the best July for a White Sox team since the 1977 season. The young and exciting White Sox have won 19 games in their last at-bat and kept the turnstiles moving at New Comiskey Park, finishing the first half of the season in 4th place, 2 1/2 games back of Texas. Catcher Carlton Fisk, shortstop Ozzie Guillen, and pitcher Jack McDowell represented the White Sox at the All-Star Game in Toronto. At age 43 years, 6 months, Fisk became the 4th oldest player to appear in the Mid-Season Classic and the oldest player in an All-Star Game to record a hit. The Sox closed out July in 2nd place, only 3 games back of the eventual American League champion Twins. This was due in part to the continued pitching excellence of McDowell, who had his 3rd 4-1 month of the season. He threw 3 complete games in 5 starts while allowing only 7 walks in 41 2/3 innings, including a 1-hitter versus the Brewers. In that game, rookie outfielder Warren Newsom emerged as a White Sox second-half hitting star by delivering 4 RBI and his first Major League home run.
That's it deep to left field. Vaughn going back at the fence, looks up. You can put it on the board. A 3-run homer for Warren Newsom. Sox lead at 5-1. Yes!
Dan Pasqua also contributed to the White Sox attack, having his best month of the season, hitting .330 with 5 homers and 21 RBI.
At the beginning of July, just working with Walt all the time, I decided, I just wasn't being aggressive at the plate, and he worked with me just getting up there and trying to see the ball and hit it hard somewhere, and that helped me a lot. That was a big point in the year for me.
Frank Thomas joined in on the White Sox July slugfest, batting .323 with 7 homers and 15 RBI, while drawing 25 walks as he continued to lead the league in on-base percentage. The bullpen remained solid as Bobby Thigpen recorded 10 saves during the month. His 20th save overall came on July 22nd, marking the 4th straight season Bobby had accomplished that with the White Sox, which is also a team record. Melito Perez continued to take advantage of his new role in the bullpen, winning 3 games in relief, including an American League leading 7 2/3 innings of relief against the Boston Red Sox. But it was the White Sox infield that sparkled above all during July, as each member contributed not only with the glove, but with the bat as well.
He takes off. There's a shot. Base hit. Down into the corner. Lance is going to score. Here comes Sammy. He's going to score. Sox lead at 6-5. Yes! Whoa! What a feeling.
Swing and a ground ball to Ozzie, diving stop. Gloves to second out, on to first out. Double play. A swing, line drive, left field. That's a hit, and that's a White Sox winner. Korkovai scores on the single by Cora, and the White Sox beat the Blue Jays.
Way back to left field. Vaughn goes back, looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes! Left side, Robin. Look at Pasqua. Yes!
Seen Timmy.
That ball hit deep to right field, way back. You can put it on the board. A two-run homer for Robin Ventura. Sox lead at 5-0. Yeah.
Ventura hit 2 homers with 6 RBI in that 14-3 victory over Milwaukee, which pulled the Sox into second place. Robin's hitting tear resulted in being named the American League Player of the Week July 15th through the 21st. Ventura spoke with his bat during the record-setting month by being named the American League Player of the Month, hitting .357 with 12 home runs and 33 RBI. His home run production matched the second highest monthly total in White Sox history, behind Dick Allen's 13 in July of 1972. His 33 RBI was the most since Harold Baines drove in 36 in June of 1987. Ventura capped the month in dramatic fashion with a game-winning grand slam in the bottom of the 9th inning. That gave the White Sox a 10-8 victory over Texas on July 31st.
Now on 2-0, Ventura swings, and it's a high fly ball. Deep right field, way back, grand slam, Ventura. That's a White Sox winner. Unbelievable.
This is pretty exciting, you know. It just, place was kind of crazy, and, you know, it was just a lot of fun. I think, you know, it was just an exciting time to hit it, and, you know, I was having a good month. We were winning, and it was just a lot of fun, you know, the whole atmosphere of the park.
It was the 25th victory in their final at-bat as the White Sox entered August winning 8 straight games, the club's longest winning streak since July of 1989. 6 players reached double figures in RBI during July: Robin Ventura, Frank Thomas, Dan Pasqua, Warren Newson, Lance Johnson, and Carlton Fisk. The great July effort helped the White Sox break even more city attendance records, as 40,000-plus fans attended 5 consecutive games during July and 9 of the 14 home games in all. The White Sox continued to chase the Twins for the top spot in the West and proceeded to win 8 of their first 10 games in August, including a 3-game sweep of the Yankees at Comiskey Park. In that series, Carlton Fisk added to his personal team record when he launched his 200th round tripper as a member of the White Sox.
Uh-oh. Deep, here it goes, picnic click time, put it on the board, yes!
By August 11th, the White Sox were 20 games over 500 and within 1 game of first place, going 15-2 since July 25th.
With the pitch swung on, a drive into right center field, long run for Johnson, dives! He made a great catch in right center field to preserve the no-hitter!
That catch by Lance Johnson helped to make history on August 11th. Left-handed rookie pitcher Wilson Alvarez made Major League history in the second start of his career by throwing a no-hitter against the Orioles in Baltimore.
He's got it! Wilson Alvarez with a no-hitter for the White Sox in his second big league start.
At 21 years of age, Alvarez became the first Venezuelan and 8th youngest pitcher to throw a no-hitter. He was named the American League Player of the Week, the 3rd White Sox Player of the season to be so honored. The White Sox reached their high point during the season with that no-hitter by Alvarez, for on the very next night, the Sox lost in extra innings and began a 2-15 tailspin that would last until August 29th. That stretch, which included an American League high 9-game losing streak, squelched the White Sox chances to catch Minnesota during the rest of the season. This would be something the team would continue to think about all winter long. Individual game performances highlighted the month of August, but the team failed to win a game in its final at-bat for the first time all year. Mike Huff joined the team in mid-July. He contributed both offensively and defensively, batting .342 in 20 games, including a game-winning RBI double in the 8th inning at Detroit on August 14th. Tim Raines also played steady in the field and contributed with the bat, hitting .331 to go along with 12 stolen bases. The bullpen continued to post solid numbers with a 2.16 ERA and 66 strikeouts in 79 innings of work. Ken Patterson had his career best game on the 13th of August when he fanned 8 Tiger batters in middle relief. Frank Thomas enjoyed another big month, becoming the 2nd White Sox player to garner American League Player of the Month honors. Big Frank hit .373 with 8 home runs and 27 RBI. Along with 24 walks, a .485 on-base percentage, and a .682 slugging percentage, Big Frank and the White Sox hitmen increased the team's total batting average for the 4th consecutive month, hitting at a .275 pace. The White Sox entered September in 3rd place, 8 1/2 games behind the eventual World Series champion Minnesota Twins. On September 2nd, the Kansas City Royals came to Comiskey Park and saw the Major League debut of starting pitcher Roberto Hernandez, as well as the return of superstar Bo Jackson.
Got new life here. The guys are great. People in the front office are super, and I couldn't ask for anything better. So I'm just glad to be here.
The return of Bo provided another boost to the Sox, who were still within reach of the division title. Hernandez made the most of his Major League debut, working 7 strong innings of no-hit baseball before the Royals touched him for a hit in the 7th inning. Hernandez, who had surgery in June for a life-threatening blood clot in his arm, picked up the win. Frank Thomas cracked his 30th home run of the season, and Dan Pasqua notched his 100th career dinger in that game, which also saw Lance Johnson triple twice. The White Sox regained sole possession of 2nd place on September 4th as they downed the Royals 4-1. Alex Fernandez posted the victory with relief help from Scott Radinsky and Bobby Thigpen. The Sox kept their dream alive the following day when White Sox bats erupted for 10 runs in the 4th inning, including Ozzie Guillen's first career grand slam.
Look at this. Air to right field, deep. Tartable back to the wall. It is gone. Yes. Slam. Ozzie Guillen. Oh yeah.
I just hit it. You know, and I never think about I got to hit a home run. The sooner I hit it, I know I got a chance to hit a grand slam. But before I come out to hit, I just try to get a good at bat.
Bo Jackson added a 2-run single as the momentum began to swing back in favor of the Sox, who trailed Minnesota by 7 1/2 games. The White Sox remained hot as they traveled to Texas, winning back-to-back games by the score of 11-6, with Don Paul and Greg Hibbard winning in relief. But a controversial ground rule double in the 9th inning of Sunday's game cleared the bases, giving the Rangers a 7-6 come-from-behind victory.
I'll tell you, that is unbelievable. Brinkman makes the sign, he sees the play, makes a damn call, and then rescinds it.
The next night in Oakland, the never-say-die White Sox beat the Athletics 7-1 behind Alex Fernandez's 3-hitter and Lance Johnson's 4-for-4 night. Warren Newson continued the magic the following day with a 2-run pinch-hit double off Dennis Eckersley in Chicago's 3-1 win as the White Sox remained 8 1/2 games back. Later in the week, Jack McDowell hurled a 4-hit shutout, his 14th complete game of the season, as the Sox defeated the Angels 1-0 in Anaheim behind Bo Jackson's RBI single. The White Sox concluded their crucial 10-game road trip with a 6-4 record, featuring Craig Grabeck's first career grand slam. The Sox, who now trailed Minnesota by 7 1/2 games, returned home on September 17th and delighted the fans with a 1-0 shutout courtesy of Bo Jackson. The next night, Jack McDowell silenced Oakland's bats, firing his 2nd consecutive shutout. He recorded his American League leading 15th complete game as the White Sox cruised to a 6-0 victory, climbing to within 6 games of Minnesota with 15 games remaining. On Friday, the Sox dazzled the fans in dramatic fashion. Angels pitcher Mark Langston faced pinch hitter Bo Jackson with 2 outs in the 9th.
Swing and a high fly ball, deep right field. It might go. It's gone. A home run. Bo Jackson Johnson ties it. A 2-2 game in the ninth inning, an opposite field dinger.
The Sox won the game in the 11th with Lance Johnson at the plate and Sammy Sosa on second base.
Ball swung on, and it is hit to the first baseman. Stevens throwing to first. Safe is Johnson. Sosa comes in. He scores. A White Sox winner. Sosa kept on coming around third, and Sosa is mobbed by his teammates in foul territory back toward the screen.
The White Sox remain 6 games back of Minnesota after the thrilling 3-2 victory. That would be the closest the team would get to the World Series champion Twins. Frank Thomas broke a 60-year team record during the historic first season at New Comiskey Park by walking for the 128th time. Frank would go on to walk 138 times to lead the American League. Big Frank also led the league with a .453 slugging percentage and led the White Sox in 8 offensive categories, including homers, RBI, extra base hits, runs, and a .318 batting average. Frank also had the distinction of being only the 38th player in modern baseball history to reach base at least 300 times in a season, with his 309 times in 1991.
I've worked hard this year. I've put in countless number of hours with the hitting instructor, just focusing on what I can do to help the ball club, and that is getting on base. And I'm very proud to say that I got on base more seasons than any player in the major leagues.
Newcomer Tim Raines also put up solid numbers, hitting .268 with 102 runs and 51 stolen bases, which ranked third in the American League. It also marked the 8th time in his career he has stolen 50 or more bases in a season. Lance Johnson, who put up great numbers all season, tied for the league lead in triples with Milwaukee's Paul Molitor, as each netted 13. It marked the first time for a White Sox player to lead the league in triples since Nellie Fox led with 10 in 1960. All-star pitcher Jack McDowell led all pitchers in the American League in fielding percentage and in complete games, while finishing second in innings pitched with 253 2/3. His 191 strikeouts ranked 4th in the American League, while opposing batters hit only .228 off McDowell's pitching. Speaking of pitching, the White Sox bullpen ranked first in relief earned run average at 2.85. The bullpen gave up the least amount of runs, 165, and earned runs, 147, while holding opposing batters to a .225 average. Thigpen, Perez, and Paul each led the relief staff with 7 victories, while Thigpen paced the staff with 30 saves. Along with Patterson's perfect 3-0 record in the pen and Radensky's team-leading 2.02 ERA, the White Sox have established the best relief staff in baseball over the last 2 years. Robin Ventura had the best season of his young career with the bat as well as the glove, finishing second on the team in home runs, RBI, doubles, at-bats, and total bases. Robin broke Bill Melton's team record for RBI by a third baseman and finished the season with 100. He teamed with Frank Thomas to become only the 8th Major League tandem under 25 years of age to drive in 100 or more runs and hit 20 or more homers. Robin's sparkling play in the field earned him the Rawlings Gold Glove Award at third base. Robin becomes the first White Sox third baseman to be honored with this award. The White Sox ended the season with an 87-75 record, the 3rd best record in the American League. Nearly 3 million fans witnessed the inaugural season at New Comiskey Park, a ballpark that caters to the fans as well as the ball players.
It doesn't get any better than being from the hometown and playing in this kind of a ballpark.
Every day we walk in this nice stadium, we hear the nice music, and we hear the crowd that's a lot closer to the field, and it seems like everybody's having fun.
We get great fan support, and it's a joy to come out here, you know, when you have 35, 40,000 out here each and every night.
With a new look, new attitude, and New Comiskey Park, together with a solid blend of youth, character, and veteran leadership, the White Sox proved that they will be a strong force to contend with in 1992 and for many years to come.
The story of the 1991 Chicago White Sox, brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized. For those who discovered its real draft taste, Chicago is a very cool place.